Hi Mayfield, it is Thursday, April 23rd, and this is the latest video for our virtual learning. This is for my Math 6 students, and this week we've been working with multiplying decimals. And I gave you some lessons to look at with some videos to help you support getting those answers. There was a brain pop if you want to look through it. And then I asked you to do these 5 Edulastic questions. And I thought we could do the last one together. And I wanted to do it with you 2 different ways to see if either strategy makes more sense to you. So we're going to do 23 6/10 times 2 1/100. We don't have to worry about lining up our decimals because we're multiplying. And the way that I learned, and the way your parents probably learned, is this algorithm. So 1 times 6, and 1 times 3, and 1 times 2. And I'm done with that row, so I'm going to put a 0 as a placeholder. And now I'm going to multiply 0 by 6, and 0 by 3, and 0 by 2. And I'm done with both of those rows, so I'll put zeros as placeholders. And now I'm moving over to the 2. 2 times 6 is 12, carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And then 2 times 2 is 4. And then I'm going to add up my columns. And this is not our right answer because now we need to consider the decimal. And in the problem, we have 3 digits behind the decimals. And so in our answer, we need to have 3 digits behind our decimals. So our answer is 47 and 436 thousandths. I wanted to show you again how we could do that using our grid method. And this kind of breaks each number into its place value. And we'll see if that makes sense to more of you. So instead of 23 6/10, I'm going to write that as 20 and 3 6/10. And then 2 1/100, that's a 2. And a 0/10, I'll just write a 0. And then a 1/100. And now I'm going to multiply every column and row together. So 2 times 20 is 40. And I'll write that over here. And 2 times 3 is 6. I'm going to really make sure when I'm doing this that I keep my decimals lined up like buttons on a shirt because I am going to be adding them up at the end. 2 times 6/10, well, that's 2 times 6, which is 12, and 1 digit behind the decimal. So 1 2/10. And so right away, I'm going to put some zeros here as placeholders. This row here is 0 times 20, 0 times 3, 0 times 6/10. And then down at the bottom, 20 times 1/100. Well, 20 times 1 is 20. And then we're going to have 2 digits behind the decimal. So that's going to be 2/10 or 20/100. Write it whichever way makes the most sense to you. And again, I'm going to have some zeros here as placeholders. And then 3 times 1/100 is 3/100. Maybe a 0 here for my whole number. And then 1 times 6 is 6, but this is 6/10 times 1/100, and I have 1, 2, 3 digits behind the decimal. So I'll make sure I use that as 6 thousandths. And then again, decimals to keep everything nice and lined up. And now I'm going to add my columns. So 6 and 3 and 4 and my decimal and 7 and 4. So we still get the same answer, 47 and 436 thousandths. All right, so I hope that helps. You do have 4 more questions. Little deceiving there because I realize number 20 has a few extra, or number 3 has a few extra problems in there for you, but I also know that you can handle it. Hey, thanks for coming to the Google Meets this week. It was really fun interacting with all of you, and I look forward to doing those each week with you. Next week, we will start working on dividing decimals together. Until then, be well, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye, Mayfield.